All right, so let's talk about the apocalypse here. Well, the apocalypse is probably the wrong term for it.
Right, because it's really not.
The dystopian nightmare.
That's more accurate.
I'm actually kind of shocked that it's been like a month and a half, and we've gone from there is this thing that's happening around the world to literally don't leave your homes or we'll arrest you.
Yep.
Don't go for a run or we'll arrest you, and you may have to get a card to prove the government has tested your antibodies. That's how crazy this. Check out this video.
That's scary, yo.
So this dude John Robertson tweeted, Is this really still about a virus? Really? Because what I see here is an individual doing their daily run and no one anywhere near 20-foot distancing suggestion, not law suggestion, a cop wants to enforce. This person doesn't want to be enforced upon. Check out this video. I'm going to play this for you. It's actually kind of funny, and I'll have to describe it for those that are just listening. It is a beach, presumably in California. It's playing the Pink Panther music, and there's a dude just jogging. Very lightly jogging. Here comes the cop running full speed. Gotta get him. Can't have someone out there, exercising.
The cop's like, stop.
Yeah, the dude's ignoring him.
Nope.
Like, no way.
Here comes the ninja music. Now the jogger just goes full sprint, and he's gone. Cop can't catch him.
Yeah, look, he's gone.
Cop's like, I quit.
He's looking back, too. He knows it.
Screw you, dude.
And he's gone.
You know what's funny, though?
What?
Go, dude.
There's something funny about a cop trying to chase down a guy who was already running.
Yeah.
Because it's like this dude who's jogging
Yeah.
clearly goes for runs every day.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be really fit.
He's probably
Maybe more
already
likely.
stretched.
Yep.
He's already
Boom, then
he's in
he's
his
good to
stride
go.
already.
Yeah.
He's rocking it.
Think about how insane things have gotten to where a dude's just going for a jog on the beach and the cop's trying to get him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what
That's
was
why-
he doing wrong?
I mean, I guess,
Is it something to do with the water? Something protecting the
Well,
coast?
I don't know.
I
Is
don't
that what
know.
you were alluding to?
No, I was going to say simple solution. Cops want to enforce. They want to tell you what to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I almost don't believe it. Maybe it's because we're seeing these videos from like heavy, liberal urban areas. Because I feel like conservative areas, like the sheriff, local cops,
Yeah.
are much less likely to do this. I don't know.
Well, they're not as authoritarian, I don't think.
Well, if you take a look at like the sanctuary, the 2A sanctuaries that popped up in West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, or I'm not in West Virginia, in Virginia. When Virginia straight up said we're going to ban all these weapons, all these local cops were like, nope. He's like, you're not going to get me to do it. I swore an oath to defend the Constitution, not violate it.
That's awesome.
But what do you think happens in New York? The cops walk right up to a young kid, slam him up against the wall, and frisk him in violation of the Fourth and Second Amendments. Yeah, they don't care in these areas.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, look at this person, whatevs, tweeted, Governor Whitmer has banned us from growing our own food. This is effing insane.
Yeah, what is up with this? Why can't people buy seeds? Why not?
Maybe they
don't know.
want civil war or
I don't understand.
some kind of revolution.
What is wrong with people growing their own food?
I don't know.
You'd think that in this time, that would be a good idea. Hey,
This is-
supplement your food by growing some of your own. Done.
That's
What's
why
wrong with that?
This is why a lot of people have been saying it can't be about a virus, can it?
Yeah, exactly. That's weird.
Yeah, because
the
if
whole
it was,
seed thing doesn't make sense to me.
maybe it's because they're trying to force consumerism in the supply chain.
Good.
They're trying to
point.
say straight up, no, you must buy vegetables from Jewel Osco or,
the seeds
ShopRite.
aren't gonna yield, vegetables for a couple months at least. It's not like people are still gonna need to buy vegetables over
I
the next
can't-
course, couple months, whatever.
I can't give you a reason why this makes sense. They're stupid.
I can't either. I
Government-
don't understand it.
Government bureaucracy makes no sense because they're all dumb and this. Look, if I was going to take the less conspiratorial approach, it's that these bureaucracies and these government officials can't plan for everything. So in their minds, they're thinking these stores shouldn't be selling things like board games. We should just make it so they have to sell food. Seeds aren't food, technically.
Yeah.
So then this happens, which is why command economies and authoritarianism doesn't work. Because now you got to answer the question of why can't I grow some green beans in my backyard?
Yeah.
Like, well, only essential items. Is food essential? It is, but that's not food. Not yet. I don't know. But when you see these videos, it's really easy to see why people they go full conspiratorial, especially when you end up with, immunity cards for Americans are being discussed.
Yeah, this is frightening.
The proposal, already being implemented by German researchers, is under consideration in the United Kingdom and Italy, and they do it in China. You got to get a phone code they put on your phone and they scan it to make sure that you're approved. And if you leave the city, you lose your approval. This is the world you want to live in?
Nope.
Yeah, this is freaky, man.
Definitely not.
So this is what we see from Daily Mail. The terrifying reports that tell the truth about how lockdown ends. There will be no return to normal. America's top experts explain how the nation faces mass digital surveillance, testing on an unimaginable scale, or recurring social distancing. Are they trying to get Donald Trump reelected? Because
feels like it.
Trump just said, he gave a press conference where he said he's got a very difficult decision to make and he's worried he'll make the wrong choice. Open up the economy or keep it locked down. There's not going to be mass testing, and he wants to get everything open as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to find most Americans saying like, yes, please.
Yeah, let's do it.
When you do stuff like this and you send out your people saying like, well, hold on, Trump's wrong. We want to make you all get tested by the government and vaccinated, mandatory vaccination, and then we'll give you your papers. People are going to be like, no, I'll go with the other guy.
Yeah.
I have to wonder, is that what they want?
What, is this like the Democrats doing this or something? Is that
No,
what
I
you're
don't.
saying?
Whoever is doing it. I'm not saying the Democrats.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, yes, because they're ragging on Trump no matter what he does. So when
Right.
Trump says, let's open it up, they're like, ah. But the end result is what? It's people saying, give me the guy who's telling me he's going to get things back to normal.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast all this kind of started to break down. Coronavirus immunity cards
Yeah, that's crazy.
would determine who is allowed to re-enter the public. There you go. You can never come back into public unless you get your shot.
Seriously.
That's scary. That's a scary premise.
Check this
You're
out.
not supposed to have that much control over me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, how about this story? Should we save this one and do it? No, we'll just talk about it.
What?
No, let's do it.
What?
Please. Let's
This
talk about
guy in
this.
India
That's
was on
crazy.
coronavirus quarantine, escaped naked, and then bit a woman on the neck, killing her.
Ah.
Maybe that's it.
Zombies.
Yeah.
This is what they're not telling
Here's
us.
here's what they say. He was mentally ill. He had a
Okay.
history of mental illness.
Uh-huh.
And he was returning from Sri Lanka. What do they say? They say, according to local news, the crazed man fled his house naked and bit an 80-year-old woman on the neck.
Jeez.
Indian cops said the woman was admitted to a hospital on Friday, but died today after her condition worsened.
Oh no.
A police spokesperson told NDTV the accused, Manny Kendon, has a history of mental illness for which he was treated in the Madurai back in 2010. On Friday, he disrobed himself and ran from his home. He tripped and fell 100 meters from his home and targeted the elderly woman who was sitting outside her house. According to the man's family, ever since Manny Kendon returned from Sri Lanka, he was stressed about losses in his business suffered there, and his business suffered there, and his mental illness deteriorated. So,
Jeez.
you know what I was thinking when I was reading this?
What?
How would the news media react to a zombie apocalypse? Because we don't see that in movies. But kind of. Like in Shaun of the Dead, you had that bit where he's like flipping channels.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like every sentence is completed, but it's like telling him zombies are coming.
Right.
And then you have that one section where the guy's like, stay in your homes and lock your doors. But I wonder what the news reports would be like in the very early stages of a zombie apocalypse. Mentally ill man bites woman dies.
Like what we just read.
Boom, just like that.
Huh.
Zombie apocalypse.
Oh my gosh.
But he was in quarantine because he had coronavirus. Is that what I understand?
I mean, that's what it says in the title. Presumably.
So maybe that's phase 3 of the coronavirus.
Zombification.
Well-
turns you into a blood crazed throat.
Not
biting.
likely. But the reason I did pull that up is because a lot of people, like you saw in that tweet, is this really about the virus?
Right.
And so there's a lot of people who want to, like the immediate reaction is that there's something else going on we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be you give the government power and they abuse it. It's a simple answer.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are looking at this and they're saying things like, this doesn't add up. Why would they need to force medicate us? Why would they be arresting random people? Is it a coincidence these cops are arresting people on the beach for no reason? Like when they said straight up, you can go exercise. What's the difference about the beach? What's going on?
Yeah.
And if something different was happening, they're not going to tell you. I mean, look at what they were saying about the report being given to Trump in November.
Okay.
So this was a big story that was reported. Apparently, some U.S. intelligence official came out and said it's not true. It was never reported to the White House. So the best case scenario is we're looking at in January. This is interesting. January 29th, the Trump administration received a memo saying this is coming. It could get really, really bad. The left and the Democrat types have said this is proof that Trump knew and ignored it. The same day, Trump formed the task force.
The same day he got that letter.
Same day he got the letter, he formed the task force.
Okay.
And then went on to start, and 2 days later, banned travel from China. And then later on, he definitely did downplay it, said, oh, it's like a flu, don't worry, it'll be gone. That seems to me like evidence that he was trying to stop people from panicking.
Yeah.
But it's also a question of, we're only learning that they got this memo now, months later. I'm curious what else they knew and aren't telling us.
Yeah, what they know now.
Yeah.
About what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because security, they wouldn't tell us, right?
Yeah, they don't want the general public to riot, It's like, the whole seed thing, not being able to buy seeds is weird,
That's really weird.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense, because I just don't get
bureaucracy, stupid people. Why would that happen?
I feel like you're right when you said like they want people to need them. They want them to buy into the supply chain and keep the supply chain moving, essentially.
Right.
Go buy all the veggies from the store so that the veggies that are coming out, or if the farmers are making veggies still, who knows? Because some farms are straight up closing and stopping production.
Some people are tweeting, the government doesn't want people to become self-reliant. They don't want to, they don't want us to get to a point where everyone just starts fending for themselves, grows their own garden, gets a decent amount of their food
going
on
off
their
the
own.
grid. Yeah.
Not even off the grid. I mean, you could live in the suburbs. You could live in Detroit and be growing food.
Yeah.
And that cuts you off from the economy and it makes you harder to control.
That's a good point.
Whether it's about control, I don't know. But they definitely want to control things.
It certainly feels like it's about control.
Yeah,
they're saying you cannot buy seeds because
that
they're
doesn't make
non-essential.
sense.
Like everyone's at their home. What else? What are people doing? They're working on their homes. If it makes sense to grow a garden. That's it's great.
Maybe
you're
it's
not
just
working.
an example of the government being completely inept and not understanding anything about what their policies are supposed to do.
That's possible.
That would be great if that's all it is. It's just ignorance. That'd be wonderful.
I'll tell you what, man, we are getting dangerously close to me getting outright banned on every YouTube platform.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to the point where the law is a complete violation of the Constitution, where the cops are trying to arrest people for going for a jog.
Yep.
And there's a point where YouTube will ban me for advocating for breaking the law. Because at what point, so there's like this, all these lefties are mad at InfoWars. Apparently, I think Owen Schroyer said something like he's planning mass civil disobedience of some sort, violating these social quarantining things because of how overzealous the government and the police have become.
Okay.
Well, yeah, at what point do you say you can't do this? Look, I get it if you say, hey, don't go outside, we got a pandemic.
Right. But you can go grocery shopping, you can take a walk, you can go exercise.
No, they're arresting people for doing
but that's what they're saying, though.
Right.
They're saying you can go whatever. And, there's some places that people are getting tickets for being in their car. Just going places.
I
being
saw that.
pulled over and getting citations for...
Yeah.
What? Why? They're in a quarantined place. How is a car not in quarantine? It's not
it was people going to a church, right? Is that what you saw?
I'm not sure where they were going. I just saw that they were pulled over, and
I was reading a story of people who pulled up to a church parking lot. No one got out of their cars.
Okay.
And the cop went up to all the cars and started giving them tickets. Started threatening them. It's but they're locked in. You're violating. This is why people think it's not about the virus. Why would a cop try and grab you if it was about not spreading a virus? These people are either ridiculously stupid or they're lying. I never attribute to malice that which can be explained by incompetence. So maybe it's just a bunch of moron cops who are like, duh, I'm going to touch somebody because they're not supposed to touch people.
Well, I know in New York that cops had to fill a certain quota or else they either got knocked pay or the whole department got less money the next quarter. So is that what this is?
I don't know,
They're just
man.
oh man, we got to figure out any way to fulfill our quotas. I don't know.
I don't think so. Everything's frozen, so they certainly can't be doing quotas.
Well, what is it?
New York's got about one in 5 cops who's out sick.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And it's like I was saying too. It's I wouldn't expect to see this in a more rural area.
Okay.
And it could be because the cops know they're going to be accountable to their community.
Yeah.
Whereas this cop, he's like, I don't know you, and I don't care. I'm going to chase you down in the beach because you went for a jog.
Yeah. What?
Seeing that dude get
Makes no
arrested
sense.
from the paddleboarding thing makes no sense.
It doesn't.
They're touching him.
Yeah.
Then there was the dad who got arrested in the park with his daughter playing t-ball. 4 cops show up, breaking the social quarantining, the social distancing,
Yeah.
and start touching the guy. So either they're really, really dumb, like, man,
Yeah.
I've seen people dumb as a box of rocks. I didn't know people could be dumber than that.
Yep.
Like, oh, there's a pandemic. I better go and touch a guy who's minding his own business.
Yeah.
What? Unless it's about something different. And I don't know what it could or would be, but this is why people are certainly saying it on social media. Because it feels like we're just being fed nothing but lies. Nothing but lies, man.
I agree.
I don't know though, dude.
Something's off.
I'm there's up and downs. Like we were just talking about this. It sometimes feels like things are getting better.
Yep.
We're hearing reports out of New York that the ICU usage is like gone way down.
Yeah.
Projections were off. Not that many people are going to die. So
yeah, I'm hearing that from multiple states. They're like, all of our numbers are actually going down. This hospital was prepared, and that looks like we're not even going to need it.
But do we get
It's
a
like,
wave 2?
Good. I mean, is wave 2 going to be nearly as strong as wave 1?
It wasn't the Spanish flu. It was worse.
It was worse in
way
wave
worse.
2.
Yeah.
Because everyone let their guard down.
I don't know.
I'm assuming.
I can't
so.
tell you, man. I can tell you this: there comes a point in time when these here's what I said earlier. That cop broke the law.
Yeah.
Because that guy didn't do anything wrong. You see the video out of Philly where the guy's dragged out of the bus,
No.
like a bunch of cops go on the bus
because he wasn't wearing a mask.
and you don't have to wear a mask. There's nothing. The bus it actually says on like the bus ticketing things like no one is required to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And the cops don't care. They were like, let's all go in a huge group and grab a random guy and drag him out of the bus. They didn't even arrest him or anything.
Seriously? They just pulled him off the bus?
They just pulled him off. There was one guy who was wearing a mask, but it wasn't a surgical mask.
Yeah.
And they're like, no mask, get off. And he's like, well, I have this. And he's like, I don't care, get off. And he's like, okay. Like, dude, I'm surprised. So here's what I'm saying. I'm going to get banned on YouTube. You know why? Because the guy who's resisting the cops, those cops are breaking the law. I'll put it this way. You should follow the law. Those cops, they broke the law.
Yep.
So when a bunch of criminals, that's what those people were, they were petty criminals, assaulting somebody in a bus who did nothing wrong, that wasn't an instance of someone violating the law. But you know how YouTube's going to interpret it. Oh, the cops are right.
Of course.
Oh, but if you can't encourage people to resist police. You can't say that. You'll get banned. So you quite literally now have several instances where police are breaking the law. Criminal activity. Petty, for sure. Like low assault and battery, maybe. They're doing it. They're the ones violating all these quarantining rules.
You know what? I feel like this has always happened. There's good cops and bad cops out there, and everybody's inside. So it's kind of like the internet all over again, because now everybody's seeing everything. So the little things that happen, everyone's like, whoa, now we can see it. Because there's nothing going on anywhere.
I mean, kind of, but police brutality was hugely viral over the past decade.
Exactly.
And they've actually tried shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is...
That proves my point even more, because...
If I make a video where I say, if a police officer tries to break the law, you should not abide by what they're saying. If I said that and told people to do that, I would be banned like that. Boom. Gone. So we're supposed to sit here and take it. As we see seeds get banned, as people get chased down the beach by cops for no reason, as people get dragged off of buses for breaking no laws,
and not even arrested,
or a dad and his kid being, the dad gets locked up.
Yeah,
dude paddleboarding by himself. They're asking for trouble. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm saying people are gonna put on Guy Fawkes masks,
and that's not
even go march around.
That's not even bringing into the conversation the red flag laws,
totally,
and the no knock warrants that are getting people killed, innocent people getting killed because they got the wrong house.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like
crazy.
It sounds like they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what? What bothers me more than anything is inefficiency. And the government right now, and typically, is just so ridiculously inefficient. It's like I can't stand watching someone with a square peg trying to jam it into a round hole.
Yeah.
Like it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And I'm sitting here being forced to watch this. And so you've got some people who think it's more nefarious than that. Like there must be something else going on. I can respect it, but we don't have any evidence to suggest that. I'm just looking at a bunch of really, really dumb people running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Seems
like I guess we should ban seeds. That seems like it's a smart idea. We should stop people from running on the beach. It's like, who are these? You know what, man? It takes a really, really stupid person to enact these kinds of rules or to think that their authoritarian decree will actually solve the problems. This is why I hate government. I don't want to have anything to do with it because everybody thinks they know the answer. Everybody thinks that I know, here's the plan. If we do X, we will get Y. No, you don't know that. You have no idea what you're talking about.
That's a good point.
No one human can calculate all of the variables that will come out of your stupid policies.
Truth.
Well, I guess we can just sit down and look forward to the point when the government, Uncle Sam comes knocking and says, I want you to inject this in your arm. Don't ask me what it is. Shut up.
Oh, and
up your sleeve.
Are you saying no? Okay, fine. You're not allowed out of your house anymore.
Sounds
You're
fun.
not allowed in the public space. Right? That's what they're saying?
Can't
It's
work.
Yeah, if you want to.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? I think
That's
I think
insane, man.
I think it would be fair to say it's a bit preemptive because
Yeah.
Fauci says we're talking about it. I don't care if it's preemptive or not. I think it's important to talk about, make sure everybody knows they're talking about it.
Yeah.
And if they want to do it, I'll tell you what, no one's going to do anything. No one's going to say anything. They're going to be like, okay. When he started saying all this stuff and you started seeing, more like right libertarian types refuse, say like, no way, you get mainstream media attacking them, saying like, you're causing all of these problems. You know what's really funny is like the fluoride thing. Do you know about fluoride? Mm-hmm. How it's like bad for you, right?
Yeah, to ingest it.
Right. And we ingest it because it's in our water.
Well, if you drink water from the faucet that
Right.
has fluoride in it,
It does.
which I do not.
So there's a couple arguments there. Initially, for the longest time, I remember, like Alex Jones talked about this stuff quite a bit, but he often, layers things in a kooky way.
Okay.
So for the longest time, fluoride, if it's good for your teeth, that doesn't mean you should swallow it.
Yeah.
The argument was mainstream science saying the concentrations in tap water were too low to cause neurological impairment, but high enough to actually protect your teeth. And this is a really good thing. One of the arguments from the libertarians was that it doesn't matter whether it works or doesn't. You can't mass medicate the population without their consent. Turns out a collection of reports were put together, and I think this was by the National Institute of Health, finding that, guess what? They found neurological impairment from lifelong exposure to fluoridated tap water.
Not surprising.
Now, don't look. I'm not a scientist, so this was it was an aggregation of like 26 studies that each found in various ways there was a slight impairment due to drinking tap.
Well, there was a study, documentary I watched about ancient Egyptians, and there's a gland in the center of the brain.
Pineal or
the pineal gland, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, and it's supposed to be like where your soul resides.
so they believe.
So they believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's all hearsay essentially from what I understand what they believe. But it turns out fluoride mutes that gland.
I don't
supposedly again.
Right.
Again, supposedly.
Let's put it this way.
But it's interesting though,
As fairly skeptical people,
Mm-hmm.
this is the claim. The claim is that the pineal gland, the third eye, the gateway to the soul, whatever they want to call it,
Yeah, exactly.
is like petrified or damaged or muted.
Because of fluoride.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if it's true either.
I've
but-
seen the stories. What I can say, I have read some articles a really long time ago, so it's even possible I'm totally wrong about the fluoride thing. But there's still the argument from the libertarian's perspective is if you're saying it's good for someone's teeth, then why are you forcing people? Like, why are you putting it in the tap water so everyone drinks it and bathes in it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like people should have a choice, right?
Right. They should have
So
a choice.
I'll tell you
agree.
what, I'm not going to be too keen on them saying. So apparently, I guess this is how it'll work. Once things start to die down, the CDC is saying that people have been exposed can start coming back to work. Well, how do they know if you're cleared to go back to work?
Yeah.
Immunity cards. So they'll test you by swabbing the back of they go all the way back up to your brain basically with the Q-tip and try and swab, get a sample. I don't think it's the same test. That's the COVID test, but they want to do an antibody test to see if you have the COVID-19 antibodies.
I think that one will be a blood draw test.
Probably.
Type thing. Yeah.
And if you do, then you are cleared. And if you don't, you must get your medicine from the government. I'm not too sure I would like them to inject me with their hastily made injection by mandate.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I got tons of shots. Like I was saying before when I went to Egypt and all that.
Right.
It's like, I don't care. It's like, I'm really not worried. If it really was really, really bad, you'd see adverse reactions. Maybe you don't be, if the people who want to be the guinea pigs who get the first shots, you can do that. But I'm not super worried.
Isn't that already happening? Isn't there already
people are doing tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something really weird is going on depending on what you read. you'll see a lot of Trump supporters are saying you've got hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and zinc or some other combinations have been anecdotally effective, and you're seeing this treatment used around the world. Yet for some reason, I can't tell you why, there's all these nonprofits and news organizations trying to tell people not to do it, not to take it. You got a Democrat in Michigan saying it saved her life. Then I saw this journalist, Blue Checky, tweeting out guidelines saying a lot of people are taking this, but here's what you need to know. It can kill you. And I'm like, why are you, who's not a doctor, telling people not to take this?
Agenda.
The conspiracy theory is that the pharmaceutical companies stand to gain a massive, massive amount of money if the goal is a vaccine instead of a cure.
Oh, okay.
It's a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying it's true, but I'll tell you what. We're dealing with capitalist America, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if I ran a vaccine company or a pharmaceutical company, I'd certainly be lobbying like the vaccine is the best way to do this. You know, you don't got to worry about reinfection. We don't got to worry about manufacturing the medicine in the future. And yeah, I think there's some fair arguments for a vaccine. But the argument now is that, you know, Trump is interested in whatever will get the job done and getting things going again. Yep. But big corporate interests want a vaccine they can patent and control.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
Especially if this virus is going to be around. If it keeps mutating a little bit, just like the flu stays around.
Yep.
They'll
big flu.
Forever be in business with a whole nother thing. Everyone gets their flu
vaccine.
shots. Well, I mean, I say everybody because not everybody. I don't either, but I don't get the flu.
Yeah. It's weird,
So,
you know, because
if you're healthy, you stay fairly healthy.
There's the flu shot only works for a few strains, though, right?
Yeah, they try to calculate as best they can with scientists in Australia because their flu season is before ours.
Really?
Yeah, that's why half the time it doesn't work. By the time it gets here, it's totally different. Yeah, I mean,
that's why I kind of just like.
But they're churning them out, though, aren't they?
Well,
those flu shots.
I had to do it because I worked with compromised populations, but I probably wouldn't do it otherwise because I never get the flu. I just don't want to pass it on to somebody who doesn't deserve it, you know?
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.